do we picture when we hear the word frugal? Often we think of someone who counts the pennies, doesn't want to split the bill, or lives a life full of restriction, where money is something scarce, not something that could expand your world. Because of that, many people quietly reject the idea of frugality, seeing it as a phase of life that you'll grow out of, that you either spend freely and enjoy life now, or you cut out everything, including fun. But what if it wasn't about spending less or spending more, but spending intentionally, spending on the things that matter to you and cutting out the things that don't, building wealth without feeling like you're stripping away the fun? So this year's theme is weaving differences into strengths. The idea that something that makes you different could also lead to opportunity and greater outcomes. And so my money story didn't start with a lot of clarity. It started with a lot of confusion. Growing up, money was always something that was considered scarce. This led me to realize that Frugal Chic is a lifestyle philosophy that's about prioritizing financial freedom without sacrificing style. It's about spending intentionally on what matters to you and cutting out what doesn't. And my money story swung between two extremes. One where I was a total shopaholic, and the other where I was extremely frugal. But something I realized is neither of those two strategies was helping me build wealth. In my shopaholic phase, it was around the time of Logomania, think Supreme and Palace, and I wasn't buying those clothes because I liked them. I was trying to impress other people. The clothing was a proxy for a lifestyle that I hadn't experienced yet. Then at university, I swung to the other extreme. I washed clothes by hand in the sink, or I ordered tap water at restaurants, and I was incredibly frugal. But I did realize that neither of those strategies were helping me build wealth. So how did I go from someone that was completely clueless about money to now a 25-year-old with a multiple six-figure net worth? And I know what you're thinking. No, I didn't go to private school. My parents weren't extremely wealthy, and I didn't have incredibly financially fluent parents either. I learned everything that I know now through YouTube, books, and learning a lot of things through trial and error. So after being a little bit frugal at my first job in fashion after university, I started posting content about personal finance and investing. And during that time, I would share what I spent in a day, but also while trying to weave in like a bit of my personality, which was, caring about style. And someone commented, "You're a mix of quiet luxury and, you're a mixture of quiet luxury and frugal." And I thought, yeah, that's a bit of me. So I made a video which was initially almost like a joke. It was juxtaposing two ideas. One of traditionally chic things, like, think Caroline Bessette Kennedy, juxtaposed against things that were traditionally unchic, like bringing your lunch to work in a Tupperware. And that's how Frugal Chic was born. And so many people left comments saying, "Wow, I feel seen," or "Finally, my lifestyle has a name for it." And so that gave me a lot of pleasure to know that I'd addressed some kind of identity for people. But there were a few criticisms. One being that this is just a normal level of consumption, like not getting your nails done or not buying coffee every day is a lot of people's reality. So why make it into this trend? Well, for me, Frugal Chic isn't about reinventing the wheel. It's simply about normalizing this level of consumption. I think social media has normalized overconsumption, and therefore, Frugal Chic is about bringing it back down to earth. Another criticism that I got was, is this a recession indicator? And perhaps it is. It's very timely that this has become popular. We've got a cost of living crisis. A lot of people are struggling to get jobs, and buying secondhand clothing is no longer a niche thing. But in my mind, regardless of the economic conditions, it is still a useful philosophy to hold. The reason being is because this is not a new idea. The bedrock of personal finance is spending less than you make. And so simply the consideration to live below your means is frugal. A lot of people reject frugality because they'd rather choose value-based spending, but that is what frugality is. It's just intelligent spending on things that truly matter to you. So how did this manifest in my life? Well, this hugely benefited me and got me to where I am today. This mentality of living below my means, no matter what my income was. So when I was just starting out in the fashion industry, obviously this manifested in a way where it did look frugal because I was on a low or medium income. But this wasn't just about how I spent my money, it was also about how I spent my time. I strategically tried to increase my income by exposing myself to more opportunities, by posting content, and this didn't always look easy. I would come home and it would be dark, I'd pull out my tripod, I'd start filming before I'd eaten or done anything else. And so now my income, now I can make my yearly salary in a month, but my spending remains the same. Because what I want from money is not a load more stuff, it's time, freedom, space to think, having no one to answer to, and having total control over my time. That is what I want from money. And so in my journey into all of this, I realized that frugal chic isn't just a trend, there's a deeper layer to it. It's about buying back your freedom. It's not seeing saving as deprivation, it's seeing it as pre-ordering your freedom, essentially. And so that's why I learned about things like the FIRE movement, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And it's based on this idea that retirement isn't about an age, it's about a number. And it's basically, when you get to a certain point in your savings and investments, you can cover your living expenses passively. And this was an idea that I was greatly attracted to because of that desire to want to achieve financial freedom. And so, to me, I see frugal chic as a method of getting there without traditionally having to be extremely frugal. And so what could this look like for you? Well, it could look like simply making a splurge versus save list and really working out what it is you enjoy spending money on and what you don't. Because a lot of people go through life unconsciously giving into obligation or pressure, things that they think they ought to spend money on. And this results in you feeling like you have chaotic finances, that you don't know what subscriptions you have. So it's just about getting clarity on that and working out what you do want to splurge and save on. So that's why I feel that frugal chic is a bigger financial philosophy rather than just a TikTok trend or a certain aesthetic. It's something that changes with you. If frugality is living below your means, then obviously your means can change. And when you're on a lower income, this could look like being on a tighter budget. But whereas as your income increases, obviously without giving into lifestyle creep, it could look like living a bit more luxuriously. So what I want to leave with you today is you can spend intentionally and still build wealth at the same time. You don't have to choose between saving and living in the now. Or in other words, let's make frugality chic.